It starts with this family, right? There's the dad, Charlie, the mom, Sarah, and their kids, Daniel and Emil. At first, everything seems totally normal and happy, but then their whole life just goes sideways. So here's the deal. They had another baby, but the baby died a while ago, and everyone's super torn up about it. The dad, Charlie, is taking it the hardest. He's so messed up, he can't even keep his job. Then the weird stuff starts. Their son, Daniel, is a sleepwalker. But it gets worse, dude. Now, instead of just walking around, he gets totally paralyzed in his bed. And get this, it's not just him. Pretty soon, the entire family starts having these messed up sleep episodes. They just black out in their sleep and have no idea what's happening. They're all completely freaking out. So they go to the sleep expert, a doctor named Alice. She checks him out and is basically like, no biggie, this is just a normal sleep disorder the kids get. But then Charlie spills the beans and he's like, yeah, but it's not just our son, it's all of us. You'd think that would be a huge deal, but Alice is still pretty chill about it. She just gives them some medicine and says not to worry, he'll be fine. So the family goes home, kind of trying to believe it's nothing, but Daniel is still totally terrified of going to sleep. And then one night, things get really nuts. The whole family starts sleepwalking, but Daniel is awake in his bed watching the whole thing. It's a total disaster. Charlie is standing there, acting like he's holding his dead baby and calling his name. It's so sad and creepy. But the mom, Sarah, is even crazier. She's in the kitchen with the blender, mixing something, and then she tries to eat it.
Her little daughter, Emil, isn't in her right mind either. She grabs a pair of scissors and just starts cutting the heads off all her teddy bears. It's so creepy. At this point, it's super clear that someone or something is controlling them. They've turned into these dangerous puppets who could totally hurt each other, or worse. Daniel has it the absolute worst, though, because he's stuck in bed, totally paralyzed. He's trying so hard to get up and call for his parents, but nothing works. And then, get this, a spooky black shadow appears next to him. Just as fast as it started, everyone snaps out of it. They see Daniel in a panic and realize the situation is a complete disaster now. So they rush back to Dr. Alice. This time, she finally gets it's a big deal. She admits the whole family overnight to run a bunch of tests and figure out what's going on. She puts them in a room to sleep and watches them on cameras. Everything seems normal for a few hours, but then Alice gets distracted for like a second. And bam, it all starts again. Daniel is paralyzed, and the others start acting all weird. Suddenly, Daniel feels like he's getting zapped with electric shocks. Alice and another doctor hear the commotion and run in to help, but Charlie immediately attacks Alice and tries to kill her. Surprise! But then this hospital janitor, a guy named Cam, saves her by whacking Charlie on the head. After that, Charlie gets arrested for attempted murder, even though it wasn't really him. The family gets sent home, and Alice is so freaked out, she's like, I'm not treating this family anymore. But then Cam, the janitor, sends her a message. He basically says, if you want to live, stay away from them. And he gives her a name. So Alice goes home and looks up the name, and she finds out he was talking about a demon. And then it all clicks. She has this major flashback to her childhood. Get this. She had a younger brother who also had sleep problems. One night, he started acting really strange and terrified. And then he died that same night. Alice has always been super depressed about it, blaming herself for not saving him. So now, Alice is a believer. She knows this supernatural stuff is real, and she has to figure out what's happening to this family and what really happened to her brother all those years ago. Meanwhile, the family's in even more trouble. Charlie's in jail, so Sarah's taking care of the kids all by herself. And that night, another weird thing happens. Sarah wakes up and finds her daughter, Emil, has killed their dog with those same scissors, and Daniel, of course, is paralyzed again. Alice is so worried she knows she has to help. First thing she does is get Charlie out of jail. They all finally realize there's no logical reason for any of this.
But then it hits Alice, the janitor, Cam, the guy who called it a demon. So they go find him, and he's like, whoa, it wasn't me. It was my grandpa. His grandpa's name is Amato. They go meet this old dude, Amato, and he just lays it all out for him. He tells them the demon's name is Timon, and he's not going to stop until he kills Daniel. So yeah, Daniel's life is totally on the line. And get this, Amato was a victim too. He only survived because some other person died for him instead. But even after that, the demon kept coming for him. So Amato literally blinded himself so he could never fall asleep again. How insane is that? So now they know the deal. This demon is super powerful, but it can only get you when you're asleep. Their first plan is obvious. Just don't let Daniel sleep. They're jabbing him with needles and chugging energy drinks to keep him awake all night. But, that's not exactly a long-term solution. Then Alice comes up with this wild plan. She's like, we can't fight it here. We have to go to its world. We have to go into the dream world and fight it there. They have no other option, so they're all in. They take a dose of some drug and bam, everyone's asleep. As soon as they're under, Timon the demon starts messing with their heads. It's a total head trip. He makes Charlie see his dead son, and Alice sees her dead brother. And Sarah starts breaking her own teeth. So messed up. Amato is the only one who knows what's up, but then the demon gets a hold of him too. But at one point, Alice has this moment of clarity and realizes, wait, this is just a dream. And just like that, the demon's power over her is gone. She immediately runs to save Daniel, but Amato is still possessed and is about to kill the kid. So Alice, with no choice, kills Amato. Total shocker. And apparently, that was the only way to beat the demon. Someone had to be sacrificed. So Amato dying made the demon leave. But it's not over. After all that, everyone thinks Alice is completely insane for killing Amato, so they send her to an asylum. And then we get the whole backstory on the demon. Turns out, he's this ancient thing that came into being with the first dream. He preys on weak people and is the reason we have nightmares. He's a shapeshifter who tricks kids with good dreams to become their friend, and then he shows his true face and slowly kills them. And for the final twist, we see that Alice isn't crazy at all. The demon is now latched onto her own daughter, and he's going to try and kill her next. And that's how the movie just ends. Total cliffhanger.